All right, so we are kind of doing a new series today. We've done this one before, though, and it's basically like, here's how you should look at this sermon series, Richer. It's filler. It's filler. Sometimes when we're putting together a sermon series, it's like, oh, we need like 3 weeks on something, right? And so we put in Richer and we do these things. But what it's doing is it's finding the richer meaning behind our favorite verses. So like Shirley, just a little bit ago, she read it in the King James English, right? Like that, read it in there. Sorry about the microphone stuff. I don't know, like that's what's going on there. And but she did that. Like this Psalm 23 is one of the things that we just know. And where is it that you normally hear the 23rd Psalm? What? Funerals. Exactly. I take a risk when I say that because some people are, like someone said births last service. I was like, births? Like that. But yeah, you hear it a lot at funerals, don't you? Like and it makes sense. We use it a ton. I don't know how many in the last 2 years, I think most of the funerals that I've done have had Psalm 23 in it. This is what people pick. And it's a nice verse. And one of the reasons why are people that are not they don't really come to church or anything like that, they usually will have at least a passive understanding of the 23rd Psalm. So it really works in that sense because there's usually a lot of people that are at these funeral services that, that don't really come to church very much. And so, but it's this beautiful thing that brings us so much comfort. But there was something around the Civil War time is when the 23rd Psalm became to be associated with funerals. Before the Civil War, it really was this psalm of kind of general comfort into people's lives. It's fascinating looking at the history and how we seek comfort and understanding and all this stuff. And I think a lot of times we look at the 23rd Psalm and we're like, oh, it's talking about the glories that we will get in with Jesus at some point somewhere else, right? Like that's and it's almost like this one of hopefulness for the future. And that's not what it's talking about. It's actually hope and comfort for today. Yes, on your deathbed, but also it's a psalm of trust that's for us today. That God is shepherding us in our daily lives. And it was known that the soldiers in the Civil War would carry this with them, and they would do it in that no matter what battle or what scary situation, that God was always with them. Like and this trust, this idea in Psalm 23 has really pervaded into our understanding and to everything we understand as people of who we are. But just to go through Psalm 23 real fast, I think it's broken up into these 4 things. This sermon's going to have 4 points, if you can't tell. Right here, the first part is the Lord is my shepherd, and I will lack nothing. Now, like when I grew up, and surely you reminded me of this. Like when I ever say the Lord is my shepherd, you said, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. And when I was growing up, I was like, why would I not want the Lord as my shepherd? Like why do I not want that shepherd Lord, right? Like what's so bad about the shepherd, right? Like that. And it's not till I got older, and I'm not going to tell you how old, shamefully old, that I was like, oh, it means I lack nothing, right? Like I lack nothing. Like the Lord is my shepherd, I don't need anything, right? And then as it continues going down there through the valley of shadow of death, I will not fear. And then it ends with, but I will dwell. Like this is the main idea. And it's the 5th of July. You guys all, at least everyone here has all your appendages and things like that. Fireworks are a big part of the Escher clan, the Escher identity, but not fireworks at 4th of July. I got to be honest. I grew up in Georgia. Georgia is usually pretty dry this time of year. And when you light off fireworks, you also light your yard on fire. And so we didn't do that much. New Year's was the big fireworks thing for us. So I associate 4th of July with barbecues and boats and all those things, stuff that I was doing yesterday. And I gotta say it again, it was such a good feeling, like driving around through my neighborhood last night when I was practicing here and coming home, and there was just all these people outside, and that's, if that's what 4th of July becomes, where we, at least in Port St. Lucie here, where we're all kind of just outside together, watching your neighbors spend their money, shooting the fireworks, and like, what a good and holy thing, okay? Because we often sequester ourselves like into our own homes, and like you hear someone knock on the door, and you're like, who's that? Close the blinds. We're not home. They're selling solar. That's that. That's what some of you have had 4 people in the last week come to your house, and but it was this great time. And as we're celebrating our independence, especially with the 250th anniversary, these 4 topics really went hand in hand with something that one of my favorite American artists have produced, and that's Norman Rockwell. You guys are all familiar with Norman Rockwell, hopefully. I always kind of knew about Norman Rockwell, but it's not till I used to live in Arkansas, in Bentonville, Arkansas, and there was a traveling art display that went through Bentonville, and it was a Norman Rockwell display, and I love Norman Rockwell. Now, I was like, this guy is it, right? With how he painted and all these things have just become cultural touchstones. I have a reproduction in my office of a Norman Rockwell painting. Love it, right? And he has this thing it was actually derived off of a Roosevelt speech right before we entered World War II that's called the 4 Freedoms. And what the 23rd Psalm, I think they kind of go hand in hand. And you've seen the 4 Freedoms. Some of you are like, I think I recognize some of these. This is probably the one almost everyone recognizes, right? This is called the freedom from want. Is kind of the quintessential image of American Thanksgiving, right? That's it there. But we can see how Psalm 23 has really located into our culture and kind of made it kind of come through there. So the first one of the 4 freedoms is the freedom of speech. I really connect this with the Lord is my shepherd. And here's why. Because we say the Lord is my shepherd. Now, I remember going through confirmation. Kyler's the big confirmation one with me over here. And we would often talk about our language and our speech. Why do we say the Lord is my shepherd? Do we say it like the Lord is my shepherd and we're making him more of a shepherd or more of God? No. It's a declaration for us that we are saying that the Lord is. This is who he is. This isn't like what I hope that he will be. No, we're saying that the Lord is my shepherd. That he is the one who takes care of me. That I am not the sole purveyor of my own righteousness. That he is active and takes care of me. And we see this all the way through the rest of the psalm. So right after it says the Lord is my shepherd, it says what? I shall not want, right? I will not lack. I don't need anything, right? I am free from want, right? Like that beautiful image of Thanksgiving, of this feast and being free from any kind of want. And so when we read it, and this is in the New International Version, the NIV, it says, the Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. I have everything that I need. He makes me lie down in green pastures, leads me beside quiet waters, refreshes my life that is in me, right? And he guides me along his ways for his name's sake. He takes care of you. provides green pastures. But the problem is, sometimes the green pastures don't look all that green. It's like all of our bushes after this last winter. It's all dead, right? Like that's, and also for God's people, there weren't many green pastures when they were wandering around in the wilderness for 40 years. Yet God continues to lead them and provide for them. They were in the wilderness for so long, and they saw so many amazing things. God caused manna to fall from heaven. He caused water to come out of a rock to feed them. Yet when we see all these stories from the Exodus account, what do the people of God do? Moses, I don't like this. I'm so hungry and thirsty. Like, we don't have enough, Moses. Like, this is how, it's more in the Hebrew. They translate it out in the English. Like, in the Hebrew, you can see the tears on the page, right? Like they complain that they didn't have enough. Like God, right after God takes them out of slavery, rips them from the clutches of Pharaoh, takes them through the split waters of the Red Sea, and they get on the other side, and they're like, Moses, we're hungry. Man, when we were back in Egypt, we at least had meat in our pots to eat. I mean, they're basically saying it was better to be back in slavery. Right? So God sends manna from heaven, this bread from heaven that they just could pick up off the ground and eat it. And then were they like, oh, God has saved us? And they're like, no, I'm tired of it. I'm bored with the manna. It all tastes the same. I don't even know what it is, right? Like that. That's like this. They never believed that they had enough. I'm sick of eating this food. I'm bored with it. They told themselves this lie that they would be better if they were back into the bondage in Egypt. How fast do we believe that there's just not enough, that we lack for everything, that we don't have enough to share with our neighbors, that God has not blessed us enough to make sure that they are okay? But the psalm beautifully brings us back to the shepherd that we can trust in, who leads us by that tranquil vision of smooth waters with green pastures, that God is actively caring for you. You lack for nothing. Like, even when it's hard and the Lord keeps you, like, you can share the bounty with them. Any of them. It's beautiful. And the third part of the psalm is I will not fear. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I fear no evil. For you're with me. Your rod, your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. And you anoint my head with oil, and my cup, it overflows. Like, I fear nothing, right? I will not fear is what this is. And his third freedom is freedom from fear. This beautiful picture of this father and mother putting their kids down to bed. We know that even in the midst of dark, scary places, the Lord can handle it. Because often in those dark, scary places, we end up acting kind of dark and scary ourselves, right? That sometimes we find ourselves in these dark, scary places, and we're tempted to pick up our weapons and fight. But we are reminded that our shepherd is with us even in the midst of the darkest valleys. And he even prepares a table before us in the presence of our enemies. I love what Jesus does in the gospel. On Maundy, Thursday, when they set this huge table for the Passover meal, And there's all of his disciples and other people that are following him all around in that. And just mere hours after that meal, they're all going to abandon Jesus, right? They're all going to run away. Peter is going to deny Jesus openly 3 times, not to mention what Judas does, that Judas, right? I guess that's not as funny of a joke as it is in my head. But that Judas who completely betrays Jesus, right? It's almost like Jesus set a table even in front of his own enemies there as he prepares to give his body and blood even to the most evil of the world, like us. And and as we get ready to celebrate communion at our own table up here, it's not a place of purification where we come with pure hearts. It's that we, like the disciples, have found ourselves often because of our sin as enemies of God, and yet he still prepares a table of forgiveness for us in the midst of it all. But this story also, right after that meal, remember Jesus went and he went to the Garden of Gethsemane with his disciples. And then we saw Judas, better delivered that time. And Peter was acting out in his fear, picking up the sword, going to his, but Jesus never left his side because he's the good shepherd that loves us and shows us his grace. Have peace, knowing that we can rest in Jesus. And that everywhere that you're in life, no matter how dark or scary it is, you don't have to pick up the rod because the Lord already has it. And that he has died and rose again for you. And that in this last part is I will dwell. Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Dwell in the house of the Lord. This one sounds like freedom of worship, where God dwells with us daily. I think a lot of times when we think of dwelling with God, it's like, oh, like when I die, I will go to be with him, right? Like that is true, but in the Christian life, that's a small part. It's small. It's small. We dwell with him today. The whole story is where we are today. The whole story is when you leave from here and you go eat lunch at the Chili's. Wherever you eat lunch. You don't eat at the Chili's? Too spicy. Yeah, like that. That's that's where when you go out and you eat at the Waffle House. If you really want to be close to Jesus, like that. That's what I get there. You know, when we go out from here, like we dwell with God wherever we are at. And there's part of the wording here that I absolutely love, and all of our English translations butcher it. But it says, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me. Now, when you think of surely and goodness are following you, what do you usually think of? When I hear that word follow, I think like some of you have like a little Yorkie. Like that, that's, Yorkie, and that little dog will follow you wherever you go, all throughout that house, and it's just right there. Surely, goodness and mercy is not following you like a little dog. That's not what's happening. Like, goodness and mercy follow you. And here's what follow means in the Hebrew. It means pursue. Pursue you. He will pursue you a lot like, it's a much more of an aggressive word. It's pursue like the Egyptians were pursuing the Israelites through the Red Sea, through the parted Red Sea. Goodness and mercy will pursue you, will chase after you. There's an old poem that was written in England in the 1800s called The Hound of Heaven. That God is like his hunting hound going after you. Goodness and mercy is like a hunting hound going after all you dirty sinners. And not bringing you punishment and pain for your dirty sinners, but instead it's pursuing you to finally, when it wears you out, it gives you goodness and mercy. That's what Psalm 23 is saying. The goodness and mercy is chasing after you, and in your sin, you're like, oh, no, I'm running, I'm hiding in my sin. And finally, when he gets over there, it's like you're forgiven. You're shown love and grace. It pursues you, runs after you. And what I love about that is that I don't know what's in the water right now, but we're in a weird time. Like in the LCMS, the way I see it, we're an LCMS church, Lutheran Church, Missouri Synod. And I hear what you're saying. We are not in the state of Missouri right now. Some of you are in the state of misery. I apologize for that. But the state of Missouri right now, that's just where we are. That's just the name of our church organization. And we just elected a new president, Reverend Harrison, like Matthew Harrison. He's been president the entire time I've been a pastor. Next week, I'm celebrating 15 years being ordained. Can't believe it's been that long. Like that's over there. But he's been president the whole time I've been a pastor here. But there's something in the water right now that is, and you see it both nationally and in our church bodies, that we want to I think people are so worried that God isn't going to see them that they're like, we need to make sure that we do this right? We need to make sure that our worship service is correct. And we begin to stand on certain things and all that stuff. We're not standing on Jesus. We're standing on whatever this is over here. And we think that if we just accomplish this, then God will finally begin to look and listen and follow us. And it's almost like we're rewriting Psalm 23 to say, when you finally pursue God is when he saves you. But goodness and mercy shall chase after you. That's the promise of our baptisms. When you are baptized in this water, I should start talking about this when I do baptisms. This is great. That water, the holiness of that water, that normal water, it chases after you for the rest of your life. It runs after you. Its righteousness and cleansingness, it chases after you. And it's almost finally to the point where we're like, fine, you can clean me up. And it washes us clean. His goodness and mercy follows after you so that you can sit here, be out there, go somewhere else. And you can dwell in the house of the Lord forever because it pursues after you. This up here doesn't have to be perfect. I can mess up my words. Clauber can mess up his words. We can mess up the microphone when Shirley's reading. We can say things that hurt each other's feelings. Because it's not about us being perfect. It's about how Jesus dies, rises again, and in that way, he pursues after us with his grace so that we can come here and not worry about it being perfect, but we can rest and go, God, you are my shepherd. The Lord just simply is my shepherd. It's not just something for our deathbed. It's us being to calm ourselves down in the midst of the world today because the Lord is your shepherd. No matter where you are. So like some of you, and there's actually a Kyler, well, no, we got a couple. Some of you are like teenagers, young adults. Like, and you're looking out in the world and you're like, I just don't know what to make of any of this. I don't know what to make of church. I don't know what to make of any of these things. It's okay. The Lord is your shepherd. And he pursues you with goodness and mercy so that you can dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Some of you are parents, and you're like, I don't know what to do with my kids. They're throwing tantrums, they're saying crazy things. I don't know what to do. It makes my hair, makes me want to pull my hair out. It's okay, because the Lord is. He is your shepherd. And he, goodness and mercy will pursue you, and you will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. You know? And maybe you're burned out. That your job just has no life in it anymore. That you're just like, I can't stand. I lose a bit of my soul every time I go there. But you have to, because you got to have insurance and you got to be able to pay your bills. And so you go to it and you just lose yourself each and every day a little bit more. The Lord is your shepherd. And he is pursuing you with goodness and mercy. And you dwell in the house of the Lord forever. And for you retirees, oh man, you retirees. You look around and everything just seems so scary. You're like, have I saved enough money over my life? Will it all run out? Like, what's going? Do I go on this? Do I give this money to the church or not? I don't know. I know you think about that, guys, all the time. But I don't know, over there, and everyone is just peddling fear to you constantly. The Lord is. The Lord is your shepherd. And he aggressively pursues you with goodness and mercy. And you will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. And when you are on your deathbed and your breath is shallow and you're breathing your last, the Lord is. The Lord is your shepherd. And he is pursuing you with goodness and mercy, and you will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. I think that's what Psalm 23 is about. And I think that's good news. We'll end right there. Let's say a prayer. God, we thank you that you have brought us all here. Lord, when it feels like we're just done with all of this, Lord, help us to see that the Lord is. That you're our shepherd, that you pursue us, that we lack for nothing, and that we will dwell with you forever. Thank you, Jesus. Amen. Let's sing our next song.